In the depths of Mondstadt's history, there was a time of great darkness when its people were subject to slavery by the Lawrence clan nobles. However, the clan itself wasn't always corrupt. They were once a noble clan whose righteousness trumped their greed, one of the first of 3 clans to pledge their loyalty to the Anemo god Barbatos, sacrificing a great many to fight for freedom. Freedom for all of Mondstadt in the time of the Caribbean's tyrannical rule. Over the course of their long history in Teyvat, they had many rituals, one of which was to reenact their clan's bravery over the frozen wilderness and to worship the masters of Anemo and time. The first act of the ritual told the tale of their forebears conquering the land through their wisdom and strength. This ritual is expressed by the saying, "Anemo brings stories while time nurtures them." They were a clan who believed in the good of the Anemo god. Early during their rule, when the Anemo god had adventured to the far reaches of Teyvat, it was their clan that guided the people to build a statue in the plaza commemorating Barbatos' descent, and upon that statue they inscribed the oath made by all the leaders of the clans. They held their oath high and would always honor it. They would hunt with bow and spear as a way of showing their strength in the natural world. They would share the spoils of their hunt with the people out of benevolence. Each descendant was tutored on the history of Barbatos and what he represented, a task carried out by the royal mages. They would instill virtue and responsibility in the nobles. However, gradually over the years, as their clan grew and grew in influence after decades of ruling, they came to believe themselves above the rest of Mondstadt. The Anemo god had not returned for quite some time, and the duty of ruling the city had fallen onto the nobles. While the other noble clans did their part in ruling Mondstadt, in the Anemo god's absence, the Lawrence clan played the most prominent role in serving its people. Thus, their views shifted from that of noblemen to overlords to kings. They started to go down a path of depravity. They tore down the statue of Barbatos that they had put up in the plaza to destroy the oath that was inscribed, to make the future generations believe that they had ruled Mondstadt. The royal mages abandoned their duty and no longer spoke of the true history of Mondstadt, nor of the oath the people had pledged. They believed they were of a higher class and that nobles should only use swords, abandoning their heritage of using bows and spears, considering both weapons for commoners and gladiators. The gladiatorial games, which had previously been made in order to show the responsibility of the nobles to protect the people from monsters, had been perverted into a blood sport for slaves in order to entertain their noble masters, until it was ultimately abolished by the Knights of Favonius. The Lawrence clan had fallen into depravity, and it was due to their actions that Mondstadt had fallen to its darkest time. In their greed, the lords of the Lawrence clan had even betrayed one another in order to seize power. Eberhard Lawrence deceived his 2 brothers, killing one of them and turning the other into the phantom thief who was driven out of the city, all in order to become the only heir. However, Eberhard's plan did not succeed, as he was injured fighting his brother and was unable to return to Mondstadt. His whereabouts were never discovered. Ultimately, his machinations served only to weaken the Lawrence clan. If not for the intervention of the Anemo god Barbatos and the uprising of Vanessa the hero, Mondstadt would be a far different place than where it is now. Even in recent years, the Lawrence clan's name is still dragged through the mud. The people of Mondstadt looked upon descendants of the clan with disdain. Members of the clan suffered from prejudice. Shops would refuse to sell their goods to them, and citizens would refuse to cooperate with them. While the clan would remember the grievances, they could never fight back, for they were very much aware of what their ancestors had done, and they carried the guilt and shame. Despite this, the Lawrence clan still survives, split into 2 factions, one side believing that there will come a time when they will rise again and reclaim their place as the ruling class. The other side believes that their ancestors were wrong. The former instills the teachings of their ancestors still, but the latter does what they can to help the Mondstadt of today, despite all the prejudice they suffer. by doing menial jobs and joining the Knights of Favonius in order to pay penance for their ancestors, serving the people to the fullest of their ability. One such knight is Eula, the reconnaissance captain of the Knights of Favonius and the eldest daughter of the current Lawrence clan. While many in the Knights were skeptical about them, it was thanks to the Grand Master, Varka, that the members of the Lawrence clan were able to join. It was said that the Knights of Favonius are interested in a person's ability, not their family history. The Grand Master even spoke highly of Eula for her ability, declaring her the Dandelion Knight's equal. Many members of the Knights also stood up in their defense against the prejudice, including Jean and Amber, who often speak highly of the reconnaissance captain. All members of the reconnaissance squad also think highly of their captain and would follow her to the ends of the earth. Today, the prejudice towards the Lawrence clan have weakened, and often they are spoken highly of. This is in part thanks to their present achievements and their dedication to the city of Mondstadt. It is also thanks to the persistent efforts of the Knights to overcome historical prejudice and the consistent great results of the current Lawrence clan that the long-standing fear in people's hearts have begun to be quelled. Though their past was full of mistakes, their descendants today work their hardest in order to repent for their ancestors' sins, and the people of Mondstadt have learned to accept them for who they are and not for their family's history.